Hi everyone, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I am broadcasting to you live from Hungary, Budapest. This is a members chat class. Everybody is welcome to view, of course. Members are able to chat. It's one of the perks. We do one of these classes a week on Saturdays at this time. As usual, our materials come from our websites. aehelp.com for academic IELTS. That looks like this with the blue background. Click that big red button, join our full course. You have 6 full practice exams, 100 hours of video lessons, and a fully interactive course to teach you strategies for general IELTS. It's this website here, gieltshelp.com. Click that big red button and join us there. Hi Rambo, new member, I got your email. I will reply to it. Hi Rekha, hi Preeti, hi Naveen, hi Kisi. You're in class, although you're now waiting for your IELTS marks. Hopefully those went well. Hi Begzod, hope you're doing great. All right, viewers, you can get our exam books from your Amazon bookstore. Search for AE Helps Academic IELTS or GE Helps General IELTS. If you get those books, send us an email so we can give you the online audio. All right, schedule. Today, we're doing a vocab build for speaking, a little bit of a different class today for the members. And then the next 3 days, we're working on other projects. Tomorrow evening, our time, we will be releasing a new video on fluency. HD video, so check that out. And then back on Wednesday with some more speaking part 1 and 2 again on Wednesday, so some good practice opportunity there. That's for everybody, of course. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, everybody is welcome to chat and interact. Our times here are a little bit off. My apologies for that. The times for all of these classes are 15 to 16 o'clock. So just note that correction. I just realized the admin mistake there, but no worries. We'll change that up. All right. So of course, one of the parts that IELTS is marking students on is your lexical resource. I'll fix that up later. Lexical resource means your breadth of vocabulary, okay? So how many different words you know in English. But again, it's not just knowing these words, but it's being able to use them well, okay? So your lexical resource doesn't just include your knowledge of the words, but it's your ability to understand and implement your words as well. Yeah, Jason, we don't usually have classes Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, okay? So, all right. So here are a couple of tips for building your lexical resource, and we'll dive deeply into each of these this class. Number 1 is always focus to study a range of word forms. So sometimes students get really stuck on just one word form or type, like or part of speech like verbs, and then they study a whole bunch of verbs, okay? It's not an effective way of learning. Remember, the brain looks like a spider web biologically. It's a web of neurons and neural connections, okay? And it works based on the principle of connections. So rather than trying to memorize 5 verbs today, 10 nouns tomorrow, you should work with verbs and nouns and adjectives and adverbs together and learn different forms together on one day, okay? It's more effective, okay? The other is build mind maps, okay? So using the information in IELTS, using the speaking vocabulary, using the reading vocabulary, the listening vocabulary, create mind maps. I'll show you what those are in just a moment, okay? When you're speaking, don't just list nouns, okay? A lot of students, when they're answering speaking part 1 and 3 questions, but even in part 2, they start listing nouns. So, what is your favorite type of fruit? And then the student answers, my favorite fruit is bananas, strawberries, and apples. That's okay, fine. So you know the name of 3 different kinds of fruit in English, fine. But you're not going to get a lot of marks for that kind of lexical resource. So you won't get a lot of marks for being able to say bananas, strawberries, and oranges. Okay, you will get much more or much higher marks if you can say one, like my favorite fruit is bananas, which are sweet in flavor and smooth in texture. Okay, that will get you a high score because you're going into detail describing that one fruit. Okay, you're not just jumping from noun to noun. Okay, too many students do that. So let's not do that. All right, so I'm talking your heads off or your ears off, but we will get to some practice here to develop our lexical resource, and I'll show you some specific practice for this. Okay, so let's get going with this. Here's a part 2 question. I'm not going to show you the rest of the question just yet. Just the top here. So talk about your favorite piece of furniture. Okay, so talk about your favorite piece of furniture. All right, let's create a mind map using the topic here. What's the topic in this case? Hi, Marwa. What's the topic in this question? Keep it simple. I know it's a simple question. What are we talking about? We're talking about objects. That's right, Begzod. But even more specifically, I know it's a silly, simple question here, Begzod, but even more specifically, what are we actually talking about? Yes, Begzod, we're talking about furniture. Okay. So to build our mind map, we want to, first of all, have multiple colored pens. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Preeti, for confirming. I know there's a bit of a lag. We're not perfectly in real time, but it's furniture. So at home, when you have a part 2 question, all right, you should practice creating mind maps with part 2 questions like this. So in the middle of your paper, and it's good to have your paper landscape orientation, just like I have. Write furniture. Okay, and you might want to write favorite furniture. Okay, that is your topic. All right, so this is, by the way, another way that you could do your notes in the 1-minute preparation time. So a lot of students do linear notes. But students who actually practice mind mapping notes will eventually be more effective for speeches. Okay, so in speeches, a mind map can be a lot more effective, and this is proven fact, than linear notes, than notes that are just listed. Okay, so here we have furniture or favorite furniture. What comes to mind when you think about your favorite furniture? So a mind map looks like a map. It's like a web of information. Okay, so what objects come to mind? This is the what question when you're thinking about your favorite furniture. And again, we're building lexical resource for your IELTS part 2 and your performance. So you increase your fluency and your vocabulary base. So what comes to mind? If I say favorite furniture, what do you think of? And this is what you're practicing at home, okay? Okay, so Baghdad says study table. Okay. Okay, sure. Study table. Okay, fine. What else? Marwa says bed, cabinet. Sure. Dresser, Preeti, not dressing. I'm not sure what a dreesing is. I think you're thinking of a dresser, maybe. Okay. Sure. Cabinet, bed, study table. Fine. Yeah, Naveen says, how about my sofa? Okay. Good. All right. And so, that's enough. Let's not get carried away. It's more than enough. Maybe I'll move cabinet a little bit and bed a little bit just to open up some space for us. Of course, on your piece of paper, you'll have a little bit more room than me on this board for this. Okay, so these are some possible favorite pieces of furniture. Sure. Okay, now let's build your lexical resource. So one way to do it is to think of synonyms right away. Think of synonyms for these favorite pieces. Okay, so what's another way to say sofa? What is another way to say sofa? Okay, so we're building our lexical resource. Now let's say you don't know. Okay, that's fine. What can you do if you don't know? Well, here's the word sofa. Okay, all I do is I highlight that word sofa, and in my review panel, I go for Thesaurus. I know that seems a little bit small, but your Thesaurus is your synonym dictionary, okay? That's a special kind of book that tells you synonyms, so other words that mean the same. And Marwa, Naveen, you're right. If I click Thesaurus, I'm sure that it will most likely tell me the word couch. But notice that there are some other words there too. You can't see them, but there are some other words there. So this is why it's worth doing it. Even for students who have a little bit of a higher level English, you can learn some new words by using your thesaurus. So other words that it's giving me, of course, it's giving me couch, okay, which is a very common one. It's giving me the word lounger, okay. It's giving me the word futon. Even for myself, and I'm familiar with many of these synonyms, it's hard for me to think about all of these. So even a very high-level English user can't remember all of these at the same time. There's another one, it's saying daybed as one word, which is interesting. That's actually new for me. Chaise lounge, which is a special type of couch. It's also giving me the word settee, which I'm not familiar with. That's a new one for me as well. Okay, so it's giving me all those words, all right, for the synonyms, okay. Pradeep Padu, I'm not sure what you mean words are partially visible. So if you can express yourself more clearly, but again, use your thesaurus, okay? So we have all of these synonyms. Now we're learning all of these. All right, great, sure, sounds good. Now, what are some ways to qualify the word sofa? So what are some ways to describe sofa? All right, I'm going to erase these. So if these are new for you, take note of it. It's just, I need the space. It's valuable real estate. So I'm going to stick with sofa. Maybe I'll leave one more up there just to remind you of doing this. So you want to do this as much as possible. So here we have sofa. We can have couch, study table, student desk. Okay, of course, leave these on the paper. Don't erase them. Another way to say bed, anyone? There are other ways as well. Cabinet, there's other ways as well. Okay, anyway, let's keep moving here. So we are on to our favorite item here. Let's stick with sofa or couch for now. So some qualifying words, okay? So remember, your topic is favorite furniture. So sofa, why, right? This is the what. Now we're on to the why. Okay. So let's use a different color for that. When you're practicing mind mapping at home, I highly recommend using different colors. They will help your memory. Okay, so why? Why do you love your sofa? So Pradeep says, for sitting. I like my sofa for sitting. Okay, good. Relaxing. Okay, why else do I like my sofa? Okay, Preeti says because it feels comfortable. Okay, that I would write here. Okay, it's comfortable, sure. It's convenient, says Naveen. Okay, let's put it here. Okay, why am I putting it elsewhere? Because it's a second why question. So I like my sofa. Why do I like my sofa? Well, I like sitting on it. It's good for sitting. Why is it good for sitting? It's good for sitting because it's comfortable. Okay, so that's another why question. Sure. Okay, good. What's another question that I can go with here? So let's keep going. If I go for another question, what can I follow comfortable with? So I'm going, favorite piece of furniture is my sofa. I like to sit on it because it's comfortable. Where can I go from that? What can be another sentence there? Rambo says, because whenever I feel tired, it helps me to relax. Okay, so I would put that Rambo here. Okay, I feel tired. All right, sure. Okay, it's good for conversation, for chit chat. Preeti says that's great too. Sitting, comfortable. What's the question? So my questions are in red, right? What is it? Why is it? Why is it? What's the question here? It's the same question as for this one here, which is when, right? So a good question to follow that up with is a when question. So you're sitting, it's comfortable. When do you sit on it? When you feel tired or when you want to chit chat, right? I think Preeti said that. So chit chat. All right, good. So as you can see, I'm quickly running out of space here, which is fine. Again, at home, members, you have a lot more space. Now, what should I do to build my lexical resource? Okay, watching TV, Pradeep, is very good. Absolutely. So I can go with watching TV here as well. Sure. So what should I do right now when I'm building my lexical resource? Before I do any other steps or go further, what should I do? Look for some more synonyms. Look for some more paraphrasing. Which words would be good to paraphrase here? What do you think for this response? So what other words are good words to paraphrase here? If you were doing this at home right now, which words would you look up in your thesaurus to increase your band score if IELTS were to ask you this question for speaking part 2? Okay, we've paraphrased our answer, the topic, sofa with couch. So we've done that. Which word do you think I might use again and again in my 2-minute response? From the words that we've put here. Okay, keep it simple. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate. I would probably paraphrase words like comfortable. Okay, and again, color code. So what I would do at home to make this mind map more effective is choose a different color for my paraphrasing. So for couch, maybe use blue. So for the original, use black. For the question, use red. For the paraphrase, use blue. Remember, the goal here, students, as one of the members asked me, is how do I improve my lexical resource for speaking? So that's my goal today, and I'm going to get you there. Okay? So words I would paraphrase are words like comfortable. Okay? What's another way to say comfortable? Let's check. Meanwhile, if some students know other ways to say comfortable, let me know. I'm just going to take the easy route and use my thesaurus. Okay? And look at those beautiful words that it's giving me. All right? It's giving me convenient and comfortable are not necessarily the same, Jason. It's giving me these nice words like comfy, which is a little bit slang, but hey, if you use the word comfy, that would be good. Snug, okay, is another one that it's giving me. Another one is cozy. Cozy is a really good way to paraphrase comfortable, especially when you're talking about a couch. I have a very cozy couch at home. Repeat after me, members. I have a very cozy couch at home. I bet if you just said that to your IELTS examiner in part 2, your score for being natural just went up by like a half band. No joke, okay? A lot of native speakers will actually use exactly that expression. I have a really cozy couch at home, okay? Sometimes spelled with a Z, sometimes spelled with an S, US, British, okay, different. Relaxing, restful are some others that it's giving me, but comfy, snug, and cozy are definitely some great words for that, all right? Chit-chat. What's another way to say chit-chat? Small talk. Okay, you make small talk. All right? So that's another way. Now, what's another way to say tired? So give me some words for chit-chat. Give me some ways to say tired. Conversation for chit-chat. Absolutely. It's more technical, but it's good. Okay, fantastic. Now, members, I hope you're not just watching me do this, but hopefully some of you are copying this down, because I will have to erase this in a moment, and when we put together our speaking part 2 response, we will need these words, okay? So some of you try to, if you have paper and pencil, copy this down. If you have 3 colors, that's even better. Okay, exhausted is a good way to say tired. We have quite a few. Vanity, Bagzod, Jason, all saying exhausted. That's great. Jason, Preeti, gossip. When I'm gossiping with my friends, usually women use that word more, but they say when I'm gossiping with my girlfriends, sure. Gossip, gossiping, small talk, talking about people. Sure. Fatigued, exhausted. Okay, so students, look at that great mind map that's giving you loads of lexical resource for this part 2 cue card, okay? So remember this exercise at home for mind mapping, all right? Let's take some quick notes on what we just did. And this is what you practice at home. And you can do this in your 1-minute preparation time for note-taking. So you might want to try this approach in your 1-minute prep time rather than just making a simple list. I'm actually sure that some of you who are watching, I know there's a lot of students watching, some of you will find that you actually are able to use your notes and speak much better when you have a mind map style note in the 1 minute instead of a list note. It does match our human brain's biology and system of function more accurately than a linear note system. So try it at home. I used mind mapping in my university studies often for my exams. I was fortunate enough to learn it well from some of my psychology professors, and it was very effective for me, and I can back that up because I did graduate with honors, so my marks were quite high, and I had huge mind maps in university. Some of my mind maps were made from 10 pieces of A4 paper put together, and before my exam I would just unfold my giant mind map and I would pick a line and work through the information, and I would get 95% on my exams. So try it for speaking part 2, try it for your note-taking strategy. If it doesn't work, if you're like, Adrian, you're a quack, you've lost your mind, this just makes me confused, no problem. You can always go back to your linear system. But hey, you might be fortunate and try it once or twice and say, whoa, Adrian, thanks for that. My fluency just increased and I'm way better now in my task 2 or part 2 speaking response. So this is what I'm going to do. Okay, try it out. Compare it. Record yourself on your phone when you respond with a linear style and when you respond with the map. Okay. Either way, it's a very, very useful system to build your lexical resource and study for speaking and for writing task 2 at home, okay? So, stressed out vanity is a little bit different, okay? Jason, can we say fume? I don't know what you're saying with that, Jason. If you're trying to say exhausted, maybe say, I've run out of gas, okay? Yeah, Preeti, you can absolutely make a sentence with the mind map because it leads you through. Remember, my favorite type of furniture is a sofa. I love sitting on it in the evenings because it's very comfortable, especially when I'm making small talk with my friends. Just yesterday, so I can flow through the lines of the mind map, okay? Worn out vanity is another nice phrasal verb for exhausted. Okay, so again, building your lexical resource. All right. So yes, you can create beautiful sentence structure and flow with mind maps, Preeti, because you basically work through your mind map and you create connections. Right. My favorite piece of furniture is, so the line is my sofa. All right. We don't have it there anymore, but you can imagine, which is great for sitting on. Which is the adjective clause line that joins the word sitting. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. So let me jump back a little bit here to the mind maps. Okay? So remember with mind maps A, use 3 different color pens for the original word, the paraphrase, and the question you are answering, okay? All right, use a thesaurus to build your synonyms. Okay, there are lots of online thesaurus available, and of course, as I just showed you, you have thesaurus in your review tools in Microsoft Word if you're using an English version, of course. All right? Okay, and then remember, focus on nouns, verbs, and adjectives, right? So here we had the noun sofa, we had the verb sitting, relaxing, and we had the adjectives of comfortable, okay? So focus on that. You're very welcome, Preeti. It's a very powerful strategy when you practice it. It's a very effective, it's reflective of your brain's mechanism. Okay, it's reflective of your brain's mechanism. All right, so this is a way to avoid listing just nouns and paraphrasing, all right? So now I'll show you the rest of the questions, and then we can put together our response based on the mind map that we just built. Okay? So talk about your favorite piece of furniture. What is this object? When and where did you get it? Why is it so important to you? What do you do to maintain it? You will have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this topic. You will have 1 minute to prepare what you are going to say. All right. So let's give a response. Imagine that those were our notes, and now we're going to answer this question. What is a good first sentence to start this essay? So what is a good first sentence to start this? It's not essay, it's your mini speech or response. What is a good first sentence to start it off? Okay, let's do this together. So let's build our 2-minute answer to this question. Okay, we've identified the topic. We're talking about a sofa, so let's stay with sofa. So Begzad says, the furniture which I enjoy using the most. Okay. Sure, that's that's more or less accurate. The sofa is my favorite piece of furniture. Marwa, absolutely. Is there another way to say favorite? What's a descriptive way to say favorite? Okay, we're building lexical resource, so I'm pushing you to express it differently. All right, what's the missing word? It's not a decorative product, Preeti, because it's your favorite furniture. Make sure to answer this question. Your first sentence in your 2-minute response time should always answer this question very clearly and very directly. Okay? Marwa says, my heart. That's right, Begzad. It is. Yes. So the furniture which is closest to my heart. Closest to my heart is an expression which means my favorite. Okay? That's a useful piece of information because what is your favorite is a very common question in speaking. Okay? So the furniture which is not wishes is closest to my heart is my sofa. What should I do next? Okay. Hi, Jyoti. Good to see you in class. You don't need to say very interesting question, okay? Just say the furniture which I like the most is my sofa. All right, Jyoti? Don't say very interesting question because it has no value. You don't need to tell me that the question is interesting. Just say, the furniture which I like the most is my sofa. Don't tell me why yet. Begzad says, describe it, visualize it. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm your friend, I'm your examiner, I'm your grandpa. What does your sofa look like? Help me visualize your sofa, okay? So answer the question, what does it look like when it's an object? So my sofa... I don't want to use my sofa, so I should use something else. This is where I'm using my mind map. So describe it for me, students. What does a sofa look like? How can I describe a sofa? What words can I put together to explain the appearance, the visual presentation of a sofa? Okay, how can I do that? And don't use the word sofa because we found, remember, like 5 synonyms for the word. So let's try to use some different words. So Jason says, as I am a student, I live on my own and therefore I want to talk about a futon I bought for my current apartment where I live alone. Jason, that's a long-winded start to your response and you still haven't told me that it's your favorite piece of furniture, you have to include that it's your favorite piece of furniture, Jason. Okay, Vanity Sean says, the furniture which I like most is my pink, cozy sofa. Yeah, Vanity, you'll be getting great marks. No joke. You'll be getting band 8s and 9s. You've given me color, a picture. You've used the natural word cozy. You've included that. You've told me that it's your favorite. You like it the most. You've described favorite. And it's your sofa. Great job, Vanity. That's how you get 9. So if you start that way quickly, it will be great. So Rekha says it's brown in color. Sure. So it's a 5-seat set. Sure. So how many people it can sit? Yeah. Preeti says it's a 7-seater couch. Preeti, that's a giant, which is beautifully painted brown. Sure. Maybe it's brown leather. Maybe it's purple velvet. Right. Okay. My couch is a 7-seater L-shaped monster. Brown in color and made from leather. It takes up about half the space in my living room. All right. There we go. So I'm basically taking what some of you are saying and weaving it together. Vanity Marwa, do you really have pink couches? Is that getting popular in some parts of the world these days? I just haven't seen many pink couches in my life. That's why I'm surprised that 2 of you have pink couches. Okay. Begzod, great. This couch is not only red and modern, but also a 5-seater with high quality leather. Okay, great. Marwa says, no, it's gray. All right. Not that there's anything wrong with gray. I'm just wondering about the color pink. So it would be an interesting color for a sofa in the middle of a living room. Yeah, I'm using the word monster here to describe its size, right? 7-seater L-shaped monster. That makes the listener feel like, oh, it's going to be a huge couch. So using the word monster instead of couch. Great. Okay, brown in color and made from leather. It takes up about half the space in my living room. Sure. All right. Now, this is only 10 seconds, 15 seconds for my 2-minute speaking, so we're far from finished. What should I say next? Rekha says, it enhances the beauty of your room. That's great. Absolutely. Kisi said, I bought it from IKEA. Let's get an IKEA plug in there. Why not? But it's very specific, Kisi. So instead of just saying furniture store, you've said IKEA. Why not? Mostly it's recognized and understood around the world, and it's very specific. And that's probably a good place to start. So you can say, I got it from IKEA. Now here, I wouldn't finish the sentence, okay? And I wouldn't, Kisi, one point that I would avoid is to try to answer where I got it from and what it is in one sentence. It's not the end of the world if you do that, but you're really limiting yourself. So you're going to run out of ideas if you really truncate your answers, okay? And you're right, Marwa, when we use it could be the next part. And you're right, Rekha, where we purchased it could be the next part. That's what Kisi was talking about, and that's what I'm getting into as well. I got it from IKEA. Before I jump, so here again, remember, we're building your lexical resource and your fluency with that lexical resource. Before we jump to these other questions, okay, so you're staring at these questions for that 1-minute preparation time. When and where did you get it from? Okay, you notice how when and where is in one question here? So that you might want to put together. But even beyond this, you always want to build further questions from these questions. Okay, so when and where did you get it from, members? When you have that 1 minute preparation time and build the vocabulary at home for this by working on this in your practice, it's a good idea to write down your speaking response before you say it. So don't just practice saying part 2, actually write down part 2 as well. So Preeti says, I bought it from IKEA and paid around 40,000 rupees. Okay, pretty good. So you're using quantitative language. So Preeti's remembered, aha, wait guys, Adrian's told me before, use quantitative language, expand my ideas with quantitative language. Good. Okay. Marwa, let's jump back from the when I use it. Okay, so we'll get there after. So let's stay with the where for now. Okay. Rekha says, I got it on the occasion for my birthday from my dad. Good. Rekha, you're answering 2 questions. What are you answering? You're answering when, okay, which is your birthday, okay, and why, okay, because it's your birthday. And those are questions that you want to include, right? So when and where did you get it? You want to include the why. So more specifically, why did you get it there? Why did you get it then? Okay. So be careful in part 2, not just to try to quickly answer all these questions and then finish, because you will not get a very good score if you answer all of these questions in a very short way and then just stop talking and look at the examiner like, and that's it, folks. That's all I have. That's not good, okay? Go into details. So why did you get it there? Why did you get it then? All right, so these are your follow-up questions to this question. Answer those, and then you'll be better. And some of you are answering another question, which is great. How much did you get it for? Okay, those are all really good follow-up questions. Okay, all really good follow-up questions. So let's include those in our responses. And you want to do that for every question, ladies and gents. You want to do that for every question, okay? Get those follow-up questions in there. All right? So these are the functions and the importance as well, okay? So let me go back down here. So I got it from IKEA last year. Because they had a great sale at the time, and I paid around $1,000 for it. Okay, now that is a much more put together sentence. Okay, Begzod says, I remember that last year I bought this sofa from IKEA and this cost only around $500 with additional pillows. The main reason why I got it at that time is I just purchased a new flat. Really nice, Begzod. So you're answering those questions, you're putting together good words, and your lexical resource score is going up. Preeti, you're on the same page. See, the answers come very quickly, all right? And again, remember that mind map. You can build this out with that mind map, okay? So Preeti says as well, I bought it because I bought a new flat last month and it required a big comfy sofa for my 20 by 25 square meter living room. Sure, Preeti, perfect, okay, great. I got it at that time, not only because it was cheaper, but I had also moved into my new flat and needed to fill my large living room. Nice quantitative information, by the way, Preeti. Okay, very good. All right. Now we're moving along. So now you're getting the hang of it. All right. Now, again, remember to continuously use your lexical resource. So don't forget about your mind map, okay? Let's go back to that mind map. So now we've answered the what it is, what it looks like, when and where we got it, why we got it at those places. Okay, so we're really knocking it out of the park and ticking off these questions. So we've got this, we've got this. Why is it important to you? So now let's answer this, why is it important to you? Okay, members, let's answer the why is it important to you question and use some of those words from our mind map, okay? That's the challenge here, is use the words from the mind map in your why is it important to you answer, okay? So use those words. Remember, if you don't use it, you lose it. That means if you don't use new words that you're learning from your thesaurus, that you're paraphrasing, you'll forget them, okay? So you need to use them right away. And then when you write it down, you need to record it on your phone and then the next day listen to it, and that's how you'll remember and stretch your lexical resource. Yeah, Jyoti, that's a good reason for the previous as well. I bought this because there was a great discount going on in the furniture showroom. Not conducted, but just simply going on. Okay. So Vanity says, my 4-seater velvety couch with 3 throw pillows welcomes me every time I come home from my exhausting 9-hour workday. Okay, well, I've already described my L-shaped 7-seater leather monster, Vanity, so I can't switch it to 4-seater velvety couch now, but the rest of it is great, so I can add that. I mean, if you're making a different answer, Vanity, that's fine. Throw pillows, some really nice specific vocabulary. Throw pillows are those little square pillows that we throw on the couch. Vanity, you're using the word exhausting, right? Instead of tiring day, you're saying exhausting day, which is nice, okay? And Vanity is using another literary device. It's called a literary device, which is personification. Literary devices I only recommend to very high-level students. Careful, because mistakes become very weird if you use literary devices incorrectly. But Vanity, in that case, it works. It's called personification. So you're giving a personal quality or a human-like quality to your couch, which is your couch is welcoming you home. It's saying, hey, Vanity, good to see ya. Have a seat right here. I'm nice and comfy, right? Great. Marwa says it's a very comfy couch, or it has very comfy seating, and I feel relaxed when I sit on it. Marwa, we never went into paraphrasing relaxed, but I would go with something like, and I can chill out when I sit on it, okay, to be really natural. Begzat says, one of the benefits of my couch is that it is very cozy and comfortable to sit, especially when I have a chit-chat with my friends on weekends. Beautiful composition, Begzad. Band 9, here we come. Okay, as long as you say that smooth and nice. Rambo says, it is important to me because it makes me convenient when I come back from work or after a game. Rambo, it can't make you convenient, okay? It is comfortable or it is cozy, but it can't make you convenient. It is convenient, okay? So careful with your grammar. Rambo. That doesn't make sense to say it makes me convenient. All right? Go into more detail, Rambo. When I come back from a 9-hour day at work or after a tiring 3-hour football game or cricket game. Okay? So go into a little bit more detail. Throw a couple numbers at me, Rambo. All right? Otherwise, those are fantastic. Let me just borrow one and stick it in there. All right. I love my lounger since it is so cozy, especially when it welcomes me home from a long 10-hour workday or after an exhausting football game on the weekends. Furthermore, my friends and I love, I don't want to use love again, enjoy sitting on it and chatting about our day. Sure. All right. There we go. Fantastic. All right. Moving along. So borrowing your ideas there. Nothing too special about what I just said. I'm using basically what you just said. At this point, members, when you are doing that paraphrasing, you're using your thesaurus, you're building that mind map, and then following that mind map, you're creating your part 2 response. You are speaking more or less the same as I am. Just double check, make sure you're using those new words correctly. Okay, that is important. And because you're a member of our channel, you can send me your recording, and if it sounds really weird, if you're really misusing the words, I'll let you know, okay? So I'll tell you about it. All right, am I done right now? So am I finished? Can I stop here and say, okay, did a great job. I hope you give me that 9+, and I'm out of here. Oh yeah, part 3. No, before you do that, so are you done here? Should you look at the examiner and wait for them to hit that stop clock and say, okay, your 2 minutes is up? Or what should you do? You can talk more about it's great for sleeping on as well, Jason, especially if you have lots of time. Begzod says there's 2 points, or 2 points is enough. Well, we can maybe say a 3rd point or a 4th point, Begzod. It depends how much time we have. Sure. You might want to include an example. Okay. So at this point, you could say, just the other day, I invited 3 of my friends. We spent over 2 hours talking about our holiday plans. So you could give an example. What else should you do? If you're starting to run out of time or you're afraid the examiner is going to stop you, what should you do? I really want you to remember this when you're in your IELTS exam. Yes, I'll take a look at that, Begzod, while the others are answering me. So apart from being comfy, it is also convenient to relax. Yesterday, I had a really hard day. After coming home, I sat on my sofa and spent a couple hours sleeping. It was rejuvenating. So instead of relaxing, Begzod, for the last word, I would say rejuvenating, because you use the word relax in your first sentence. So again, avoid repetition of words. That's your lexical resource, okay? That's what you can do. Don't repeat words, all right? What do I need to do before the examiner stops me, or before I stare at the examiner like, I'm done and I'm awesome? Before I do that, what do I need to do? I need to, come on, brave souls, I need to look at the questions. Yeah, always look at the question before you finish to make sure that you answered all of the questions, okay? You have to answer all of the questions to complete the task. Your notes and the cue card are in front of you for the whole 3 minutes, not just the 1 minute preparation time. You have to look at the questions. Did I answer them? Did I answer all of these? Did I answer all of these? No, I haven't. And I'm sure many of you will tell me the same. You'll say, oh, Adrian, no, you didn't. You did not answer that. Rambo, first one, says, no. What about that last one? What do you do to maintain it? Yeah, to keep it safe. Right. Absolutely. Rekha, don't conclude. Look at that last question. Okay. What do you do to maintain it? So what do I do to maintain my leather couch? What do I do to... yeah, Bagzod, I'm really happy that that tip really helped you in your speaking exam. I'm not surprised, Bagzod. So many students, I've heard that they're like, I finished speaking and then I was like, oh my gosh, at the end of the exam, when I walked out of the room, I realized I didn't look at the card and I don't think I answered the last 1 or 2 questions. So, Bagzod, I'm really happy that you remembered that tip. For your exam. You have to practice that, students, okay? Practice looking at the card and your notes. It's really weird to just read the questions, take notes in the 1 minute, and then completely forget about them in the 2 minutes that you're talking. That doesn't make logical sense, okay? Especially not for high bands like 7, 8, or 9. Okay, so what do I do to maintain my couch? Keep it simple, right? Steps that I take to retain the quality and beauty of my leather couch include treating it with special cream once every half year, and when I'm using it with friends, I put a blanket on it. Okay. Yeah, so Preeti, you say, I remove dust from my lounger about once a week. I vacuum. Okay, if it's a leather couch, it's probably not good to vacuum. You would just wipe it down. But if it's a velvet or a fabric couch, then maybe you dust it or you vacuum it with a special vacuum head. Okay, so that's another way. Preeti, good. I clean it once a week on Sundays with a vacuum cleaner. Fantastic. How? With a special head that's gentle and designed for the sofa. Okay, so I clean it once a week, usually on Sundays. I vacuum it with a special attachment that is gentle on the fabric. Okay, so if it's a fabric couch, sure. I know some of you kept going with a little bit of a different answer and didn't much like my L-shaped leather monster. Okay. All right, but now you've answered that question. Now you know that you're done. If the IELTS examiner is still looking at you quite relaxed, like, hey, you're doing a fantastic job, sir, or fantastic job, madam, and you still have like 15 seconds left if you have anything else to say, Now you can conclude, okay? Jyoti says, I will do dusting not only whenever I use it, but also on the weekends for maintenance. Jyoti, nice correlative conjunction. Okay, I wouldn't use the future tense will. Okay. Rambo says, well, to keep it looking good, I clean it at least once a day with some gentle soap and a cotton cloth. Okay, Rambo, a little bit more description. All right, students, I hope you're repeating me. Okay, it is speaking, so repeat when you hear me. So if the examiner is looking at you like you have a little bit more time, then now is when you want to conclude and make it very clear for the examiner that you're done, right? So I'm hopeful that with a bit of TLC, my couch will remain my favorite piece of useful furniture for years to come. Okay? TLC, it's a kind of a cool acronym to use in your speaking. It means tender love and care. Okay? Tender love and care. All right, students, so there it is. Repeat after me, nice and loud, members. The furniture which is closest to my heart is my sofa. My couch is a 7-seater L-shaped monster, brown in color and made from leather. It takes up about half the space in my living room. I got it from IKEA last year because they had a great sale at the time, and I paid around $1,000 for it. I got it at the time not only because it was cheaper, but I had also moved into my new flat and needed to fill my large living room. I love my lounger since it is so cozy, especially when it welcomes me home from a long 10-hour workday or after an exhausting football game on the weekends. Furthermore, my friends and I enjoy sitting on it, chit-chatting about our day. Just last week, I had 2 of my best friends over. We spent about an hour talking about our vacation plans to Hawaii next year. The steps that I take to retain the quality and beauty of my leather couch includes treating it with a special cream once every half year. And when I'm using it with friends, I put blankets on it. I'm hopeful that with a bit of TLC, my couch will remain my favorite piece of useful furniture for years to come. All right, members, so that's it for today. That's it for this week of lessons. Again, remember, for lexical resource and speaking, focus on studying a range of word forms, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and practice building mind maps using the words and questions based on part 2, part 3 information, okay? The next step or the next evolution of building your lexical resource is look at the words in part 3 and do the same. Make connections, paraphrase, use a thesaurus, and build it into your response. Okay, that's the idea. That's how you build it up. All right? Don't just list nouns. So when you give an answer, don't just say, well, there are 3 reasons for this. 1, 2, 3. That's not good lexical resource. Instead, say the main reason for this is because, which is when, and after that it is. All right? You get a much better score. Members, thank you so much for supporting us. As always, I tip my hat to you. Keep up the good studies, and everybody watching, we welcome you back on Wednesday. We will continue with some speaking part 1 and 2 strategies. So until then, practice what you have learned today. Don't forget to visit us on our websites, aehelp.com for academic IELTS, and that looks like this. Click that big red button, join our full course. For general IELTS, go to this website, here with the green background and click that red button and join our full course there. You're very, very welcome, Bagzod. You're very welcome, Marwa, Jason. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Keep up the good studies. I'm sure you'll do great. And we'll see you all on Wednesday. Bye for now.